you branded yourself and you went after, like you said, I want the people that want me to be their dentist, the ones that, since I'm a dental student, been saying, oh, that's my dentist because
Right.
I can identify with her views, or I might look like her, which is important as well.
Yeah.
So that's all something that people need to hear, because many times we just play small ball because we say, well, we can't have a practice as big as such and such, or we can't have, I'm going to be solo. So you mentioned that you opened your doors with yourself and how many other employees?
Yeah, I had 2 employees. I had someone at the front desk and I had an assistant. I cleaned everyone's teeth. I did all their exams. I did all the treatment. But I opened up an online scheduling system 6 weeks ahead of opening my front door. And I started with 53 pre-booked appointments. So
53.
huge confidence boost going into it. I was like, okay, there are like people on my books. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
scary, but also like, okay, like, and there's just a lot of good energy I also from social media. And so all of that was giving me a lot of energy to get this going. Hold on
Yeah.
a second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, but no, I'm good. Um,
Okay. Is
but
that
yeah,
Superman?
so I had that. Now I'll say too, the other part of the vision of this office is people told me I couldn't be a Medicaid office, and that if you're a Medicaid office, people will just, they're not going to value your work and value your practice and your time and all of this stuff. And I really want to also play that, like almost play it up that I was a Medicaid office. So
Wow.
again, I was
Okay.
attracting the right types of people, right?
So
Like,
for people, the listeners that might not know what you mean talking about Medicaid, it's a form of insurance, and it's a form of insurance that usually the impoverished or people who are making below a certain income level have this insurance. So what's the
now in
stigma
North
that,
Carolina, it covers dental pretty much in
okay,
full with very few exclusions. Like
yeah.
it won't cover implants, but it will
Mhm.
cover cleanings and x-rays and fillings and some dentures. Like it covers a lot more than other
Yeah.
states.
But talk about the stigma around being a
Yeah.
Medicaid practice, so to speak.
Well, so the fee reimbursements for Medicaid would mean that I have to write off a little over 50% of my fees, often more like 60% of my
Mhm.
fees. My profit margin isn't even that high. So, like for the most part, that's almost just doing some free work.
Mhm.
But I really thought I could see patients with Medicaid and also have most of my patients being cash pay to offset this in a way that I wasn't feeling it so much on the business end. But I knew that those are our patients that are the most vulnerable in society. These are recovering addicts. These are our special needs patients. These are a lot of children, just a lot of vulnerable people. And I really wanted that to be part of my story. And so I put it out there and said, look, like this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And what was cool to see is a lot of my cash pay patients, I have some very wealthy patients that come to my practice. They will pull me aside sometimes and say, I see what you're doing here. And I appreciate it that you're a dentist that is helping everybody and not just the most wealthy people. And if you're too stuck up and snooty to appreciate that, then you're not my kind of patient I want anyway. Like I'm not trying to get all the most wealthy patients. Again, I want patients that really value that. So yeah, the stereotypes of Medicaid too, to go back to that, is like a lot of these families had lots of children. They'll junk up your waiting room. They're going to be louder. They're going to trash your waiting room. They're going to not come up to appointments. They're going to not show up. Right. But like, I think our patients with Medicaid value coming to our office so much over a public health clinic. And we're pretty strict about, you don't show up a second time, you're not going to be allowed to reschedule. You're just done. And we just don't have this problem. I mean,
Yeah, so I work in South Mississippi as well.
yeah,
So it's a very heavy Medicaid population, but they need good care, and they need someone who is going to treat them like a human being and
right.
not just say, okay, I got to squeeze 2 or 3 Medicaid patients you know, in my office so I don't get fined or whatever. So, it's beautiful to hear that, and how you basically embraced being, it's almost like a badge of honor for you. Watch me treat these Medicaid patients that nobody else wants to treat and still do well. So I think
Right.
that's awesome what you're doing. And
Right.
then, I mean, if you look, go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
No, to say, like, if I do fillings on a patient with Medicaid, I know that's not going to be a very high production appointment, but that can be, if you have someone scheduling in the right way, they know how to balance that with something that is higher production. And just, again, you just don't even feel it. Like, I couldn't run my practice doing all cleanings all day with patients with Medicaid, but like If you keep your numbers right and it balanced right, you can make it work. And if we all did that a little bit, it wouldn't be such a burden on a few practices like mine.